Dear viewers, yesterday I told you about Ashok Kharat, the self-styled captain, the astrologer, the alleged rapist, the man with 58 videos on a pen drive and politicians in his pocket. I said the system that made him powerful is still running, fully functional. I had no idea how right I was, because today we are not talking about the predator, we are talking about the protector. And she is sitting in one of the most powerful chairs in Maharashtra, the Maharashtra State Women's Commission. Her name is Rupali Chakankar and she needs to resign right away. And I will explain why. Hello, I am Tejas and this is Honest Take on Lokmat Times. Before we get into the details of this follow-up story, I want you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already and press the bell icon to never miss an update. Let me start with what we know for certain, not allegations, not opposition politics, facts. Rupali Chakankar, the chairperson of the Maharashtra State Women's Commission and an Ajit Pawar NCP leader, was a trustee and director of the Shri Shivnika Samsthan, the Ishaneshwar Mahadev Temple Trust in Mirgaon, Sinnar, the same trust that is linked to Ashok Kharat. Her name was on the temple board signage, right there in print. And then Kharat was arrested. And then, quietly, that board was taken down. That is not a coincidence, that is a cover. There are videos, not one, not two, multiple videos of Chakankar publicly venerating this man, washing his feet, holding an umbrella over his head, sitting at his feet during religious functions, and in at least one clip, she refers to him as her guru. Her guru, the man now in custody for raping a woman repeatedly while chanting mantras, is the guru of the head of Maharashtra's Women's Commission. I want you to hold that in your head for a moment, because no political spin in the world can make that sentence okay. Now here is where it gets worse, much worse. In March 2025, a full year before Kharat's arrest, a Marathi newspaper published a story alleging that a woman had been sexually exploited by Kharat. The paper was preparing to publish more. What happened next is frankly horrifying. Rupali Chakankar, in her capacity as the chairperson of the Women's Commission, wrote to that newspaper. She called the story baseless. She threatened legal action. The paper issued an apology and the story died there. Think about what just happened there. A woman had allegedly been exploited. A newspaper was trying to expose it, and the head of the institution that exists to protect women used that institution's letterhead to silence the story. A local journalist, Dattatray Khemnar, has gone on record saying Chakankar personally called him after he reported on Kharat's alleged activities, demanding an apology, threatening a police complaint, and pushing for a suo motu case through the commission against him. A suo motu case against the journalist for reporting on the predator. This is not a conflict of interest, this is a betrayal of office. Now I want to be honest with you about where the line is, because I think you deserve that. Sushma Andhare of Shiv Sena UBT has made several explosive allegations at a press conference today, including a claim that Chakankar severed her own ring finger as part of an occult ritual on Somvati Amavasya. She has produced photographs showing the finger heavily bandaged across multiple public appearances over roughly 3 months, starting September 2024. Is this dramatic? Yes. Is it newsworthy? Yes. Is it proven? No, not yet. The photographs confirm an injury. What caused it, whether it was a kitchen accident or a surgical procedure or something else entirely, has not been independently verified. One or more unnamed victims reportedly told Andhare about the ritual, but that is victim testimony relayed through a politician at a press conference, not a police finding or a court record. I'll say this clearly. If the SIT investigates and this allegation turns out to be true, it is deeply serious and potentially an offense under the very anti-superstition law this state enacted. But I will not present it to you as established fact. That is not journalism, that is just noise. What I will say is this: these are questions that demand answers from Chakankar herself under oath in front of investigators. Let me come back to what is solid, documented, irrefutable: the suppression of the 2025 news story, the temple trusteeship, the foot washing videos, calling a man now accused of serial rape her guru, the name on the board that was quietly taken down. And then there is this. An NCP leader from Chakankar's own party, Rupali Patil Thombre, held a press conference demanding that Chakankar be made a co-accused in the case. She argued that Takankar could destroy evidence and should be kept away from the probe. She has threatened a statewide agitation if Takankar is not removed. When the criticism is coming from inside your own party, you have run out of places to hide. Maratha leader Sambhajiraje Chhatrapati has demanded her removal as well. Anti-superstition organizations have called for her resignation. Civil society is asking the same question loudly. Even in the ruling alliance, voices are starting to crack. Now let me tell you why this matters beyond the politics. The Maharashtra State Women's Commission is not a decorative institution. It is a quasi-judicial body. Women walk into that office carrying the worst experiences of their lives: domestic violence, sexual assault, workplace harassment, and they expect someone who is impartial to hear them, someone who has no personal stake in silencing them. How is that possible now? How does any woman sit across the table from this commission and feel safe when the person chairing it publicly venerated a man who allegedly drugged and raped women, ran a temple trust with him, and used commission letterhead to threaten a newspaper that was trying to expose him? The answer is, it isn't. It is not possible, and pretending otherwise is an insult to every woman who has ever approached that commission for help. Takankar's defense, delivered through a social media post, was essentially, "I visited religious trust, I did not know about his private crimes, I have full faith in the police." That's it. That's her response. A social media post. No press conference, no questions answered. No explanation for the letter to the newspaper. No explanation for calling him guru. No explanation for the videos. That is not the response of someone with a clean conscience. That is the response of someone hoping the news cycle moves on. We need to talk about what accountability actually looks like, not what we are told it looks like. Not a statement of support from party seniors, not a tweet saying "I trust the system." Real accountability. Rupali Chakankar should step down from the Women's Commission immediately, not because she has been found guilty of a crime, but because the head of that institution cannot function under this cloud. The neutrality of the SIT investigation depends on it. The credibility of the commission depends on it. And most importantly, the confidence of victims in that institution depends on it. The SIT should formally examine her role in suppressing the 2025 newspaper story. The journalist's account is on record. The letter exists. The newspaper's apology exists. This is not speculation. This is a paper trail. Ajit Pawar's NCP needs to decide publicly where it stands. You cannot talk about women's safety in one breath and protect the head of the Women's Commission in the next. That is not a contradiction the public will accept quietly. And the state government, which formed the SIT, to its credit, needs to go further. Political connections should not determine the pace or the direction of this investigation. Not Takankar's connections, not Eknath Shinde's photograph with Kharat, not anyone's. Yesterday I said Ashok Kharat is in custody, but the system that made him powerful is still running. Here is what I mean by that system. It is not one person, it is not one politician or one photo or one temple trust. It is the unspoken agreement across party lines, across governments, that religious legitimacy can be purchased, that godmen are political assets, and that anyone who challenges this arrangement will be pressured, threatened, or silenced. Rupali Chakankar did not invent that arrangement, but she participated in it, and then she used public office to protect it. That is why she has to go, not as punishment, not as a political victory for the opposition, but as the absolute minimum signal this state can send to the women sitting in police stations right now, trying to decide whether to trust the system enough to speak. If Takankar stays in that chair, the answer to that question is no. This is On a Stake with me, Tejas. The story is not over, the SIT is working, the videos are being examined. More victims may come forward. We will keep watching and we will keep telling you the truth, even when it is uncomfortable, especially when it is uncomfortable. Share this video if it reached you. Let us know in the comments what you think of this story, and keep watching Lokmat Times for more such stories.